If she's pulling away from you, chasing harder is the worst thing you can do. Everything in your body screams the opposite. You feel that gap and your nervous system wants to close it right now. You think more words, more reassurance, more gifts, more apologies will fix it. They usually won't. That scramble bleeds out your masculine energy and kills attraction. It tells her you can't hold yourself when the relationship gets wobbly. It tells her you will trade self-respect for a moment of relief. If you learn to hold your center when she moves away, you create space for respect and desire to return. And if you don't, you will repeat the same panic loop until there is nothing left between you except resentment and silence. If you're new here, my name is Dr. John Dabach. I help men build the relationships they actually want instead of the ones that they settle for. I've been a couples counselor and relationship coach for nearly 15 years. I've worked with thousands of men, been on national TV, and I'm a published author. I built a social media following of over 1 million in a year without spending $1 on ads. I'm also a husband of more than 15 years and a father of 4. So this is not theory for me. Now, before we go deeper, do me a favor, like the video and subscribe. It's free, it helps the channel a lot, and it makes sure you don't miss the next video that might save your marriage. Let's talk about polarity. Polarity is the neutral tension between the complementary energies that creates attraction. The simplest way to feel it is to picture a magnet. Opposite poles face each other, and there is a pull. Right? There's this pull, and that pull is what you felt at the beginning when everything was new and your presence had an edge. Masculine energy is direction, presence, steadiness, and mission. Feminine energy, on the other hand, is flow, feeling, radiance, and movement. Both are beautiful and both live in every human being, but the dance between them is what creates spark. If both partners slide into the same energy, the tension dissolves. When you collapse into the same anxious, seeking energy that she's in, there's nothing to pull against. Attraction fades. I want to say something clearly. Masculine and feminine are not locked to gender. I've coached women who hold a lot of masculine energy and men who had a lot of feminine energy. The labels are simply useful descriptions of patterns. In many marriages, the man leans masculine and the woman leans feminine when attraction is healthy. When things go cold, it's often because he abandoned direction and sank into neediness. The core of polarity is direction versus collapse. That one line is all we need for this video. Outside of marriage, polarity shows up without much effort. In dating, there's mystery, there's pursuit, novelty. You asked her out with a plan. You chose a time, a place, and an experience. You were curious and playful. She felt your confidence in your body and in your voice. That difference between your steadiness and her lively energy made dates feel electric. The early chase was not heavy because you weren't trying to force an outcome. You were directional and you were light. The pull happened almost on its own. Inside marriage, polarity gets completely flatlined sometimes, right? But generally just kind of a little bit compressed and flattened by comfort and by logistics. Bills, schedules, kids, and chores crowd out play and mystery. And if you're not careful, you turn into polite roommates who run a household. Safety is vital, but safety without direction becomes boredom, and boredom is a slow leak that empties desire. When she takes a step back and you react with panic, long talks at midnight, and constant check-ins, you confirm the exact fear that made her back up. You show her there is no frame to lean on and there's no mission bigger than the emotion of the moment. Attraction doesn't survive that. I want to ground this in real people that I've worked with. I'm going to change details to protect privacy, but the patterns are exactly what you see in the real world. Client 1 was a husband who followed his wife down the hallway every night. She would retreat to the bedroom early and scroll her phone. He would hover in the doorway and ask if she wanted to watch something or talk. If she said she was tired, he would ask if she's angry. He meant well, but his energy was a plea. And we shifted his nights. He began lifting for 20 minutes after dinner, then journaling about wins and places he could improve. He read a few pages of a book, he made tea, he greeted her kindly when she came out, but he no longer begged for contact. Within 3 weeks, she migrated to the living room. She asked about the book. She sat near him. He didn't pounce. He stayed warm and grounded. The room changed because his energy changed. Client 2 was a fixer. His wife would vent about work, and he launched into 10 solutions. She felt bulldozed and unseen. We trained a 3-part response to this kind of behavior that she was exhibiting. Now, step 1 was to breathe and make eye contact. Step 2, reflect 2 feelings and 1 fact. And step 3 was invite with direction. He said, "You're overwhelmed and disappointed. Your boss moved the deadline again. I'm walking around the block in 5 minutes if you want company." Now, he didn't say it in that tone. He said it much softer, but that's what he said, right? And that is what presence and direction is. She started coming along. They talked. She began touching his arm when she spoke. Attraction grew because she finally felt safe in his steadiness. Client 3 was in the dating world. A woman he liked pulled away after a strong start. She canceled a plan and he responded slowly. He felt the urge to blow up her phone, and we chose the opposite. He went to the gym, planned a hike with friends, and focused on work for a week. When she texted, he replied later that evening, light and friendly. He set a simple plan for Saturday with a clear time and place. He kept the date playful, and he didn't interrogate her about the week. She leaned back in because he never collapsed. Client 4 was a father of 2 who had drifted into apology mode. Now, what's apology mode? Apology mode is when you apologize for asking time to work out. You apologize for wanting intimacy. You apologize for spending time with a friend. It's horrible. The apology itself told his wife he believed his needs were a burden, and we rebuilt boundaries and direction. He set 2 gym sessions on the family calendar. He planned a date night and booked a sitter. He told his wife he missed closeness and that he would not pressure her, but he would be flirting again. The apology energy faded. She relaxed. When a man respects his own time and needs, he becomes easier to trust. Client 5 had a wife in a long season of stress. She went emotionally flat and distant. He tried to cheer her up every day, and it backfired. We pivoted to quiet rituals, morning coffee placed near her without comment, a walk offer every evening at the same time, a Thursday plan he said whether she joined or not. No lectures, no pushing, no clinging. The consistency of his frame was the medicine. She thawed slowly, and then she reached for his hand. Polarity returned because he stopped trying to yank her out of her state and instead became the ground under her feet. Now let's talk about how you apply this when she pulls away. You start with awareness. Notice the bodily cues of collapse. For most men, it shows up as tightness in the chest, shallow breathing, and a compulsive urge to talk. Your hands want to grab your phone. Your mouth wants to fill the silence. Catch it. Name it. Say quietly to yourself, this is the collapse impulse. Do not fight that collapse impulse with any kind of force. Redirect it. Redirect it with structure. Use a rapid grounding technique, right? Sit or stand tall. Inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 8. Do this 4 times. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Place your feet flat on the floor. Just feel the floor. Once your body calms, choose one active direction that doesn't depend on her response. It might be starting dinner. It might be a short workout, right? It might be stepping outside for fresh air and a short prayer. One active direction signals to your nervous system that you're not helpless. When you communicate, keep it simple. Replace arguments and fishing for reassurance with clear invitations. Instead of, why are you distant? What did I do? Can we talk now? Try, I'm walking to the coffee shop at 6. You're welcome to come if you want. Instead of, do you still love me? Try, I care about us. I'm here and I'm focused on being a good man to live with. That language is calm, directional, and non-reactive. She hears it differently because it lands in a different nervous system. Play more and plead less. Teasing and lightness are not disrespect when they're grounded in warmth. A quick smile, a gentle joke, a one-liner that breaks tension can shift the room. Pleading adds weight. Play removes it. If she's truly in pain, play is not the move. Presence is. Read the room. The rule is the same though. You bring the energy you want multiplied, not the energy you fear amplified. Build mission back into your days. A man with a mission is not fazed by every gust of wind in the relationship. He notices them, adjusts his sail, and keeps course. Write down a mission for the next 90 days. It can be fitness, skills, a project at work, a creative goal, or a spiritual practice. Schedule the actions that move it forward. And then share the highlights of your mission with some lightness. Don't preach it like a manifesto. Let her feel the current that you are following. That current is magnetic because it is bigger than either of you, and it gives your direction weight. Create rituals that anchor polarity. Choose 2 weekly moments that you lead without pressure. Maybe it's a Saturday morning coffee on a bench. Maybe it's a midweek walk. Maybe it's a standing date night you planned end to end. The point is not control. The point is reliability. A reliable frame lets the feminine relax. You may do these alone at first. You keep the frame, and when she's ready, she's going to step in. And stop over-explaining, okay? Long speeches are usually an attempt to manage her perception. They read as fear. Trust that your character is going to show over time. Speak in simple, honest sentences. Follow your words with consistent action. Nothing restores polarity faster than clean clarity backed by behavior. Guard your boundaries. Boundary is not a threat and not a punishment. A boundary is a description of what you do to protect the conditions that make love possible. If conversations turn cruel, you end them calmly and return later. If you're treated with contempt, you speak to that clearly and you step away until respect returns. If intimacy is completely off the table for a long time, you initiate a real conversation about it with care and with a plan to address it together. Don't sulk. You don't punish. You don't accept contempt as normal. You protect the space where love can live. And repair your side without confessing to crimes you didn't commit. If you've been needy, say it. If you've been passive, say it. If you dropped your mission, say it. Don't dress your confession in drama. Name it, own it, and show the correction. Real responsibility is attractive because it signals strength and honesty. Let me give you more concrete language that men find useful. When she's short and distant, here's something you could try. Looks like a heavy day. I'm around if you want company. That's it. It's really that simple. When she says she needs space, here's how you can respond. I hear you. Take the time you need, and I'm here. When she tests you with a sharp comment, instead of getting defensive, say, tough room tonight. I'm going to try again later. When she says nothing and the silence feels loud, you hold your breath pattern. You make dinner. You put music on low, and you keep your shoulders back. The room is different because you are different. There's a deeper layer to this that matters. Underneath the behavior, there's a nervous system reality. Many women pull away when they feel overwhelmed or unsafe. They're not always angry at you. Sometimes they're just flooded by life. If your body broadcasts panic and craving, their body feels less safe and retreats further. If your body broadcasts steadiness, their body registers safety even before their mind does. That's why breath, posture, and silence are not small tricks. They're the medium your leadership travels through. Don't confuse polarity with performance. You're not trying to do a role. You're training your nervous system to choose direction over collapse. Now, some days you're going to nail it. Some days you're going to slip. And when you slip, return to the basics. Breathe. Do one directional act. Speak one clean sentence. Hold one boundary. Build one small brick in your mission. These simple moves compound over time. And I want to circle back to the guys who fear that pulling back means indifference. It doesn't. You're not withdrawing love. You're withdrawing panic. You are replacing the urge to force closeness with the choice to create conditions where closeness can breathe. Love that is squeezed will suffocate. Love that is invited with steadiness expands. And a word to the men who are dealing with serious breaches of trust or ongoing cruelty or a partner who refuses any repair. Polarity is not a magic wand. It is not a reason to accept abuse. You use polarity to show up as a strong man. You also use strength to make hard decisions if the environment is not healthy. And that is part of the masculine direction as well. You don't need to abandon yourself to keep a fantasy alive. You choose reality and you lead your life well. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. When she pulls away, your job is not to chase. Your job is to hold. Hold your breath pattern, hold your posture, hold your mission, hold your invitation with open hands, hold your boundaries with kindness. This is what creates a place she can return to. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, it's dependable. Dependable is attractive when it's paired with play and desire. You can practice this today. Don't say, oh, I'll get to it next week or in 2 weeks. Practice it today. Before you speak, run the check. Am I collapsing or directing? Before you text, run the check. Am I pleading or inviting? Before you make a plan, run the check. Am I avoiding leadership or offering it? Do this 100 times and it becomes your way of moving. It becomes who you are. And that's when polarity stops being a trick and starts being your natural posture. If you do this work, you're going to notice changes. Now, she may not say much at first, but her body language will shift. She's going to stand closer when you talk. She's going to ask about your day. She's going to meet your eyes longer, accept your invitations more often. She'll start a playful threat. Sometimes she'll test you to see if the new steadiness is real. Hold steady. You're not holding to get a result. You're holding because it is the right way to live as a man. And I'm going to leave you with a simple image. Think of a lighthouse on a rocky coast. Storms come and go, ships pass, near and far. The lighthouse does one thing every day. It stands and it shines. It doesn't chase boats. It doesn't argue with waves. It doesn't explain its value. It doesn't collapse when the fog is thick. It stands and it shines. Just that. Be that. Not as a stunt, but as a way of life. Now, if you're ready to go deeper on this, I do have a very private and exclusive men's group where we work on these skills in real time. We take polarity from theory to muscle memory. We rebuild mission, boundaries, presence, and playful desire. And we do it with accountability and with real results. If you're interested, the information is in the description below. Thanks so much.